Good morning, class. Today I'm going to go over the bone model that we have in the lab. Notice here we have the bone coverage, which is known as the periosteum. Then we have the compact bone, and then we have the spongy bone. And technically here we should have the medullary cavity. Let's start from outside from the periosteum. As you can see, the periosteum has two layers. The outer layer is known as the fibrous layer. This is where we have dense fibers that are on top of each other, forming that outer covering of the periosteum. The inner layer, which is depicted over here, this is known as the cellular layer. In that cellular layer, we find the osteogenic cells. We find also the osteoblast. You could see protruding out of the cellular layer many different type of perforating fiber. These are depicted here in blue. Now let's look at the compact part of the bone. First, you could see on the outer side of that compact bone, here they are depicted by these three different layers. This is underneath the periosteum, and this is to the outer part of the bone. So we're going to call that the external circumferential lamellae. As you can see, we have three depicted over here. Since this is called the external circumferential lamellae, of course, we're going to have an inner or internal circumferential lamellae, and these are depicted right in here. You can see we have here. These are the ones that separating the compact bone from the spongy bone. These are known as the internal circumferential lamellae. Let's look at the structure of compact bone. You could see compact bone is made up of those circular structure. Each one of these is known as the osteon, also known as the Haversian system. That osteon is made up of those concentric lamellae, and these are made up of dense fiber tissue, also made up of collagen fiber. Each one of those ring is known as concentric lamellae. Concentric lamellae. And notice how the concentric lamellae is surrounding and canal, which is seen here in the middle of that osteon. This canal here is known as the central canal, also known as the Haversian canal. So this central canal contains, as you could see, blood vessels. We have an artery, we have a vein, and also we have a sensory nerve. Notice here between the osteon, we could see some of the remnant of old osteon, and these are known as interstitial lamellae. Now, if you look at the dense structure within the osteon, you could see it is depicted over here. This structure over here, this empty space, we find the lacunae. The empty space is called the lacunae. Within that lacunae, we could see the osteocyte. These osteocytes, even though they are in their own lacunae, they are still in a constant communication with each other through smaller canaliculi. These canaliculi, you could see them within the osteon. You see how they are going out or against the circumferential lamellae. All of these are known as canaliculi. Now, with the central canal going up and down through a bone, we could see here some of the canal that goes transverse way. These are known as perforating canal, also known as also known as Volkmann canal. You could see clearly on the side of this bone, you could see the lacunae, and you could see within that lacunae, you could see the osteocyte. Notice back again here, you could see a lot of the canaliculi. So that's the structure of the compact bone. You could see here we are illustrating the idea of the perforating canal, also known as the Volkmann canal. Here you could see many different types of Volkmann canal. If I move this to the side, you could see clearly here we took the blood vessels, and you could see the Volkmann canal or perforating canal going from one part of the bone to the other. Of course, they're not going up and down. This is here is known as a central canal, another central canal, and you could see here we have many different types of Volkmann or perforating canal. Let's look at the structure of the spongy bone. So back again, we have the periosteum, we have the layer of compact bone, and then we're going to come into area of the spongy bone. Notice here the area of the spongy bone are made up of those different type of bone tissue. These are known as these are known as trabeculae. So all of these different type of trabeculae, if you look closely at the trabeculae, they are not made up of concentric canal. Notice here we have many concentric lamellae. If you look over here, we could see something known as parallel lamellae. You can see how they are running with each other, forming the structure known as the trabeculae. Between the trabeculae, you could see a lot of the bone marrow. These are filled with bone marrow. This is the area where we can make our blood cells. So I really hope that will give you a clear idea about this model of bone, and I will see you in a future video.